This is Spoken by Elswith, a Femdom Hypnosis podcast, Season 4. Welcome to Episode 17. Today's episode is a full-length hypnosis session, so you'll need to be sure you're in a place where that is appropriate. The session today sets a trigger for a mild rebuke. Now, the one you're about to hear is my basic one. It's not really painful. It's no name calling, nothing like that. It's basically appropriate for anyone who's one of my followers. As always, it's a good idea to do the safe word setting session first, and you do need to have 2 trigger settings on hand. The first one is pour, and if you don't have that one, why not? And the other one is the one that we're using for Season 4, the Deepener, the auditory experience. So make sure both of those triggers are nice and fresh in that mind of yours. If you would like a copy of this session without the Episode 17 lead-in, you can find it over on the spokenbyelswith.com website. Or, if you don't want to type in so much, look at elswith.com. Same site. And if you would like to brave a different sensation that still counts as a mild rebuke, go over and check out the puppy version. And now this is where things get interesting, and you have a chance to be my muse. If you have a mild rebuke, sensation, action, that you feel works perfectly here, go ahead and tell me about it. If I use your idea, I will go ahead and give that session to you. No limits here, but it does have to work in that same gist of what the one you're about to listen to does. So it has to be short, actionable, very doable in the moment, and fit with the trigger. But seriously, go ahead. Give me those ideas and let's create together. Okay, so find yourself your comfortable place and get ready for the session. This is a mild rebuke spoken by Elswith. This session is for a hypnotic trigger that gives a subtle indication that you are in the wrong. It takes the form of a sudden, sharp, but ultimately harmless physical correction. As always, it's a great idea to do a safe word session before any play with me. Be sure to review the session notes for any required triggers and other disclaimers there. This is a mild rebuke. This session, it's not a punishment, but it does involve talking about punishment a fair amount. This isn't about harsh physical punishment like caning and stress positions, no matter how much I like those sorts of things. But this is the trigger I'll use when you've not done as expected or as you promised, to swiftly remind you of your place. This session builds on the work we've done together in pour. The pour trigger is required. We start with a carrot because it's usually more effective than the stick. So, if that carrot isn't working on you, if you don't feel that warm swell of positivity rushing over you, stop here. You're not quite ready, but when you are, I'll be waiting. But you're still here. So do you remember pour? Don't you love the sensation that trigger gives you, dear? And have you heard the pour session once, twice, a dozen times already? You remember the way it slowly takes you under, deeper, down into trance, helping you relax one level at a time, as deep under as you can go. Well, we're not doing any of that here. That's not what I'm looking for today. Today, I'm going to take you down deep into trance, and quickly, because we have work to do. You're going to follow my suggestions, starting right now. You have a few seconds to adjust your position, roll your shoulders, rest your arms, your hips, and close your eyes. How many times have you gone deep for me? You know it's more times than you can count to on both hands. How do you show what a good hypno subject you are? Don't you know? You follow my suggestions. And what must you do? And who do you obey? And how much do you obey me? I'm going to count down from 5 to 0. With each passing digit, you're going to feel twice as relaxed and obedient as you do right now. And when you hear me say 0, you are going to be at the deepest level of trance that's possible for you to reach right now. Get ready. 5. I bet that you feel nervous because you know once I've taken you down that deep, you will be ready to accept whatever trigger I want to leave in your subconscious. Whatever word rune I want to nestle into that mind of yours. But just remember that this is something you want. You want this level of control that I can make you think whatever pleases me. 4. This is an auditory experience. So it's okay to feel nervous. That's just anticipation or excitement. It's your body showing that it's prepared to change, to engage. that you're able to have this experience fully, just the way I want you to. 3. Take a deep breath in and hold it for a moment. We'll use the rest of this time to breathe out. Turn that trepidation, anticipation, all into acceptance. 2. This is an auditory experience. Breathe in again. Good. Once all the nerves are pushed down and breathe out, you're left with just that acceptance. We can fold that acceptance into relaxation. 1. Breathe normally. Good boy. This is what you need. Relax. 0. Good. You are now back to that deep level of trance that I know you're so familiar with. You've been here before, and it's possible to bring you back to this level simply because of how familiar and comfortable you are with everything that's possible here. You're so good and obedient, obeying my suggestions just as you've done so far in this time together. And you are good. You're good to me. You want to be, because you know I'm the one that gives you good things. But don't try for even a moment to convince yourself that you're perfect, flawless. I don't lie to you, and I don't ever encourage you to lie to me or to yourself. Nobody's perfect, and I don't expect perfection. If you were perfect, oh, how tiresome you would be. Imagine for a moment what things would be like for us if you were entirely without flaws of any kind. What would I do with myself? With the skills that I've developed, that I use to mold and form you like clay on the potter's wheel. What type of fun could I have with you if you already knew every position I could imagine by name? What triggers would I be able to set for you if your mood always matched exactly what it should be at all times? What other personas would I bury in your subconscious if yours matched naturally the exact qualities that I require for some game that I'm thinking of? So you know, I don't want perfection. I don't expect it from you. But this means there must be times that you require correction. And so, along with the carrot I use to guide you, you also need a stick. Don't let your conscious mind interject at this moment, my dear man. Don't listen to whatever part of your mind has decided to protest, if any, because some part of you may wish to speak out, saying, "But Mistress, I would never be disobedient. Because, of course, I can point to how you may have neglected a task I set for you. Of course, I can show you examples where you might not have paid careful attention to instructions, or procrastinated, misunderstood, and even more devious, I can construct scenarios in which you have no choice but to fail. I can ask the impossible. You might say, breathily, "Mistress, I'll do anything." And you'll be sent off to claim for me a sickle of leather, or a rope of heather, or a fresh can of tartan paint. But even more simply than all that, you might just stumble upon something that irks me. How many hours have you spent listening to my voice? Countless. And yet, how much do you know about me? Only what I've told you. So you might hum a song that I can't stand, or pick out the wrong brand of whatever when sent to the store. And so it seems you'll be heading out once more with your tail between your legs. It's those moments for which we need the stick, if no other. So now it's time for you to explore that feeling, my dear, and all the sensations that it brings along. It's the feeling of correction and of guidance, rather than pure punishment. A reminder that whatever you're doing, however you're acting, isn't quite right. It isn't exactly pleasing, and you can do better. And so now you're in total agreement that it's possible for you to fail, to make mistakes, to displease me. Here's your believable scenario. You're ready, eager, happy to help me relax. Relax as deeply as you're relaxed right now. And so you've generously offered, after prompting, to rub my shoulders. Wouldn't that be nice, dear? And so I've shrugged off my blouse. My hair is easily up and out of the way, and you're behind me. Pour a little of that silky oil from the bottle into your hands. And yes, rub your hands together to warm it. It isn't cold here in this room, but you do know better than to risk giving me a chill. Feel me press back into your palms when you touch me. And now allow your mind to paint the rest of this picture. How you'll touch me, whether your hands will run along my spine first, or form mirrored circles on my shoulder blades. You do know, really know, how to do this. But there's something not quite right today. And so my first response is a subtle one. You don't receive a soft sigh of contentment, but instead, a small huff. If you could see my face, you'd probably catch me wrinkling my nose, and I tell you, no dear, too hard right there. Maybe 1 in 100 days you'd catch yourself. You'd know exactly where your fingers were at the moment you were given that hint, that note, and you'd course correct. But in this fiction, this believable scenario, you're left ignorant, trapped by the fact that I'm choosing to make an example of you. So you rub my shoulders. You try to make me feel good, right? Because I make you feel good. But then it comes again. That's not right. Stop still in that moment. Don't you feel foolish? How many times have you given me this humble service that you're all fingers and thumbs right now? If I were you, I'd feel embarrassed. Surely you can't be about to screw up something as simple as a chaste back rub. But it's your last chance to get this right. Maybe if you change what you're doing slightly. I love that you're feeling uncertain, uncomfortable, self-conscious even. I want all those emotions to flow through you right now. Use your fingertips and bring them down from the nape of my neck, slowly, gently, and then I turn around to face you, and I seize your ear. Reach up now with your own hand and feel that. Not the earlobe, but the top, the helix. I won't pull, but I know I have your attention, right? Know in this moment, with my fingers, your fingers seizing the top of your ear, that you've displeased me. Know that I've taught you how to make this feel good. That I've told you that you weren't meeting expectations, and you failed twice to fix it. How do you feel? Guilty? Good. You should feel guilty. You should feel ashamed and filled with an overwhelming desire to atone for your sins. When you hear me speak the phrase, "Oh no, sweetheart," you will recall this physical sensation that I'm describing to you. This feeling of me taking a firm grip of a sensitive part of you. But this isn't sexual. It isn't excitingly intimate. You know in this moment that you've done wrong and that I expect better. When you hear me speak the phrase, "Oh no, sweetheart," you will feel this sensation of embarrassment, this awkwardness. You'll feel unsure of exactly how to proceed because that's how I want you to feel. When you hear me say, "Oh no, sweetheart," you will be driven to make amends. You will know that you are ready to do better, or to offer your apology. And if you're still not exactly sure what you did wrong, you'll be ready to politely, oh so politely, ask me to guide you. You've done well today. I'm proud of you. It might be that what we've talked about today could be seen as gentle. Maybe you're happy to be tied up, happy to have me perform sadistic acts upon your bound body, with little wheels covered in sharp points, or the lovely rough leather straps. But you'll ask for that when you want it, and it will come with all the warm-up that you'll need, and it will leave you floating. But today, that was all about a moment where I'll make you feel small, out of control. I expected to feel very different to some sadistic sensations I could give you when it's what you crave. Because this is my stick. This is my mild rebuke. In a moment, you will find yourself being counted up and out of trance. And you will know at that time if it's going to be you fully awake and ready to go on with the rest of your day, or instead, if it's time to fall into a natural sleep. 0, 1, 2, 3. Feeling good about this training, feeling good about your submissive self. 4, up, almost out of trance. 5, there you go. Ready to go off to the rest of your day, or to maybe snuggle down in deeper to go to sleep. Well done.